Howdys and salutations, y'all. Hope you can hear me okay. Just gotta double check my audio settings at some point and actually see if that works. But also probably get better audio equipment at some point. Although this headset's working well enough, but it could be better. Anyway, yes, sorry for the slight delay in returning. Well, if any of y'all are from around the States, then you know that it is election season. In fact, our elections tend to be so, what's the right word for it? Messy and loud that even if you're not from the States, you may well have heard about them. We're good at fixing things, but also at causing big problems. And, well, and Americans are always just kind of loud, aren't we? But that's, that's neither here nor there. The point is, it's election season, and so I was doing my candidate research. You can't just go and vote straight one party. That's, well, it's just a terrible idea. I mean, granted, that's my personal philosophy and idea is that I don't care which group someone's affiliated with. I care what actions they as an individual take. Of course, these days a lot of individuals are just blindly following their group anyway, so it's an issue. But it's still worth researching to find the folks who are more aligned with what you're interested in, especially on local elections, because local stuff tends to be less messy, for better or for worse. And yeah, I'd just rather know who I'm voting for. I don't like voting straight party on one ballot. Because especially that's how you get the crazy extremists in, is they manage to get themselves affiliated with one party or the other, and frankly, some of the insane ones I think would go for either. And then they just automatically get a ton of votes, even though they're completely unqualified. So, yeah, check who you're voting for. It's worth knowing. But of course, it's not easy to do, and it takes time, and not everyone has that. So I'm not here to judge your voting methods or anything. I didn't mean to come across when I started the stream. I meant to be coming across as advising, not hostile. But easy to get a little incensed about this stuff, ain't it? Point being, vote how you want to vote, but I do recommend knowing who you vote for and knowing why you vote. And like, I don't know. I want to see what people say and what they actually do. Because the words don't always align with the actions, but a lot of times even just hearing what people say clues you in on who they care about and who they don't. And that alone speaks volumes, in my opinion. So that's what I'm listening for, is like, are they here for one group and not another? Are they here actively hostile? Like, But of course, all of that stuff, I'm sure right now people probably still don't know which party I actually prefer. And I like to keep it that way, because I'm not officially affiliated with either of them. Heck with that. And I know there's more than two, but In terms of functional influence, the others can really only take away from the main candidates right now. And that's unfortunate and an issue with our flawed system that both of the current leading parties are causing issues with. But right now there's kind of bigger fish to fry. And so I gotta pick my battles, so to speak. The two-party system, while massively problematic right now, alternatives aren't necessarily perfect either. And there's bigger stuff on fire. And in any case, this is a 3D modeling stream, not a my random meanderings about political strategies stream. So, as you may see, I have managed to resolve one of the issues we were having last stream. Ooh, that's neat. I can do it at 45. That's not 45, is it? That's just clipping to an axis. Ooh, not what I want though. Yeah, we managed to resolve one of the issues where subdividing these wasn't popping up this view down here. Good news, everyone, is that it's fixed. Bad news is I don't know how. I closed the program, and when I reopened it the next day to look into the issue, it just worked. That's not ideal. Like, not even a little bit. That's actually kind of a pain, because it means if this happens again, I don't know how to fix it. But it will work for our circumstances. Oh, and I figured out not necessarily how best to do the UV mapping, which was our other sort of hang up, but at the very least, what I was doing wrong for step one. Ooh, pardon about that yawn. Like I said, the reason I was late was that I was spending a lot of time reading political bios and descriptions and goals and stuff, and that's a little... Well, it used to be dry, and I kind of miss when it was dry. Now it's just thinking in tints, but it's still tiring. I don't know why I'm doing these one at a time. There's literally no reason to do that. Let's not do that. This one's going to be an issue. Because at some point I must have subdivided and saved that. And I don't know if I'm going to have to remerge the face. That's kind of how we got issues last time. So let's... Can I just delete a vertex? Oh, that causes problems. Let's try just deleting the faces. Delete faces. Select some vertices, specifically 4 of them. And hit F. And now we got a new face. And now... merge vertices? I want to do the opposite of separate. What's this do? Nope, that's not it. Oh, I think it is it. Cool. So dissolve is the name of that option. I'll be honest, I don't think that's intuitive. Well, I'd say I wouldn't have figured it out. I did figure it out, but mostly through lucky guessing. Come on. There we go. Subdivide, get this one up to 4, and we're nearly done getting this going. Now let's do some selecting here of faces, not of edges. And you may ask why I manually click, because obviously select and drag is probably a little faster. But I'm trying not to accidentally select stuff through the surface. This is something that's easy enough to accidentally do. I haven't had it happen recently, so maybe they got it fixed, but still something I'd rather avoid, if possible. Okay. And lucky with these edge ones, we have a nice marker of the exact height we ought to go to. Plus or minus a pixel or two. Let's see. I'm just gonna... Whoops. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, 9. We're gonna just pop these up. Because they all go to the same height, I can just line this one up, and boom! Okay. Now that's what I like to see. Not finished product yet, of course, but I think a lot of the future stuff is actually going to be our texturing. Let's see if I can't open our reference here, actually, because that might be useful to have. Gonna pop it open for me, and then I'll share it with y'all, too. Apologies again for the yawns. Okay, is that a decent spot for this? Blender has so much more going on with the interface. Like, even this, I'm trying to bring this down to a view where you can see what's happening. But it does make it hard to find the right spot for references, doesn't it? I don't think we'll be doing too much with the lower end of this view, but if I do, somebody give me a shout, because I don't mean to leave y'all behind on that. That'd be a big whoops. Let's see. Okay. Moving on from politics, because that's never really a great stream content. Wow. Topic. Content either, I suppose, really. It's just a bad plan all around. Um. Okay. There we go. So we've got this one modeled, and I'm debating if we should UV unwrap it now to make sure we learn how that process works, or if we should wait until the full thing is modeled so that there's not any weird interference. My inclination is let's go ahead and do this one now. Whoa. That what button does that? Interesting. Not what I wanted to happen though. Put you back there. Whoopsie doodle. But yeah, so we got this. I think let's do some UV unwrapping. So, for starters, I think I figured out part of what I was doing wrong. UV, we need to mark some seams. Means I need to select some seams to mark. Means I need to be on edge view, probably. Well, I guess I don't have to be, but it would be useful. So where do I want to unwrap this so that it can lay flat? Okay, I think to start with this one. I guess this would be a place where control would work, because it's only going to select contiguous ones. I'm curious how it defines contiguous, and frankly, I think it's better for us to try to figure this out manually. Once again, big thanks to Blender Guru for making this possible. Go ahead and add these. Well, just trying to think through the 3D aspects of it. And also the where it would make sense to have seams on this model aspect of it. We'll see. I feel like if we do them there, I'm going to have it all the way across the bottom, but also that kind of makes sense. This is like bringing me back to my origami days. Okay, let's go ahead and UV mark as seam for all of those. Good. Okay, that seems to have actually taken, too. Now, this part. Oh, gee willikers. This part is going to be an adventure, ain't it? Okay, because I want this to be able to open up here, too. So let's do that, and I'm going to go ahead and grab around this whole section. Possible I'm over-seaming this, but I would rather overdo it a little bit and make sure that it can all work properly than miss a step and then wonder why it's just straight up failing to UV unwrap. Okay, now which meshes does this need to unwrap along? Oh, jeepers. Okay, actually, hold on. First off, UV mark seam. The lower section is marked. I'm going to even save. That's marked. We have seams. Because this section is going to be interesting. How many seams do I need to add to make this work? Okay, well, I definitely want to continue up this edge. I'm going to start using control and see if that gets us where we need to be. So far, it is not. What on earth is it even selecting there? Oh no, is this actually like two meshes adjacent to each other because of the way we extruded? Ooh. Oh, 1 second, y'all. Be right. Howdy, y'all. Sorry about that. Dinner arrived. And don't worry, this isn't an ASMR stream. I ain't gonna be eating it loud chewing, so hopefully you won't be able to hear a thing. If you can, I apologize. As someone who, I'm not saying other people can't do ASMR, but it has whatever the opposite of the intended effect is on me, because I get super, like, antsy the second it starts. Like, it triggers a fight or flight response, which is so silly. But it do that. Oh, no. Hey, when it gets like this with the axes, where like the scale is a little off, so it's moving the camera around becomes really difficult. Okay. Okay. Let's just continue along this. Okay. If I do control, is that going to... Yes. Yes, okay. We can use control a little bit here. I'll make sure I get these little ones too. Same over here. Okay, this is sort of working, I think. And again, feel free, you know, participation is not required. You ain't getting a grade, but you are welcome to backseat the heck out of me if I'm doing this stupid. I guess, can I still mark that as a theme when it's like that? Okay. So it's going to climb up that edge, mark in there. Is it going to be able to UV unwrap from just that, or am I going to need to get, like, all up in the business of each of these? Let's look at UV editing. This doesn't look right. Follow active quad. Oh, that's cool. A Python error. That's not the button to press. Let's see. What is the next step here? I'm trying to remember. I may have to go revisit that Blender Guru guide for the next piece. I'll admit UV editing is not something I have messed with before. Never in Blender. And I think with Maya we used a different method for our textures. We were projecting it, as opposed to using this method. Rather complicates things, wouldn't you say? At the very least, the interface and terminology were so different that I can't recognize how it was done. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and save. I may actually, you know, I talk about it a lot. Let's find that video. Wherever the heck it went. Okay. I think we can do that on stream. So let's pause our music for a second and let's... Again, you should go check out Blender Guru for like the full thing.
Enterprise checks your homework.
Ah, that's actually part 8. What we want is part 7. And I'm just going to try to find the exact step. Oh, good, advertisements. Y'all don't need to be subjected to that. We'll just pop that out of the way. I am not giving them free advertising. Not even saying the brand name. Hard pass, thank you. But around here, because most of this is about selecting the proper seams and everything to get it going. Okay, okay. Based on the original cube, this is where it
It's
was.
created one for us, which I believe was based off of the default cube that it came in as, but this is totally wrong. So if we select everything, this is in edit mode, select everything, then hit U and then select unwrap. And that is it. We have successfully
Oh,
unwrapped
okay.
one of...
Let's do it. Edit mode. Everything. Oh, and then click U and unwrap. Okay. Okay. I guess we ought to put a texture on this and see if it works. But more specifically, I have a sneaking suspicion that when I selected everything, I didn't actually select everything. Because that sure looks like only one side of it to me. And yep. You can see, oh, jeepers, that's actually horrible. Okay, let's try this again. Everything. That's one of the benefits of this, one of the many benefits of wireframe. But in Blender, it also lets you select through things. Let's try that again, shall we? That seems like a bad sign in terms of warping. But I think a lot of our editing was right. This is along the bottom. So I guess what I would want to do, which panel is this? Is that one of the side? No. I think these are the sides of the tower, actually, which is interesting in and of itself. And then this is the base. Or no, okay, so yeah, so we're still getting some warps around the spikes, which is what I had expected and feared, but we'll unwrap those with more specificity. That's fine. I don't know what this piece is. It's got all of the splits that it should be. Okay, so it is the inner adjacent piece there. And this is what method is it connecting through? Okay. I'm gonna check. Let's check that video a little more because at one point he mentions a way to project just a grid over this, and that'll at least show us where it's warping bad.
Of our chair. One part of our chair.
Yep.
And it's now a good time to, I guess, check whether or not it's done properly. So you should add an image that you can actually see over here. There's a couple of ways you can check things. But anyways, this is the way I'd suggest. So at the top here, in your UV image editor, if you click New, then this is how you would make like a black canvas if you wanted to. But you can also generate a UV grid, which if we then just hit OK.
And then we just have to make a material and apply that. Okay. Oh, New. Generated type, UV grid. Okay, UV test grid. Okay. Hey. Well, it'll show us where it warps, which, I mean, we can already see some of those spots. Definitely already see some of those spots. Okay, and then for our cube, we need a material, which is going to be this little section here. Let's kick our music back on. We got this little sphere. Let's add new material. Our base image option, or is there? Oh, no. Don't know why I thought that would do something. Okay, I guess back to the video a little bit. Sorry about that.
It looks like this. Now,
like I said, we learn together.
I guess maybe it's probably like a carryover of like Blender 2.79, but it wasn't really revamped with Blender 2.8. I wish it was, but it's like it's not easy to preview that UV grid over here because anyway, it's just annoying. So what you want to do is in your materials with your slat selected, go materials. You won't have this, but go ahead, just add a new material, and then underneath base color, click that little dot next to it. And this is getting really into the weeds, and then click image texture.
Okay, so we got to find image texture wherever it happens to be. Yes. No, because that's the shading. Okay. Oh, that's not doing what it did on his, so let's see if we can't find another option. Here we go, it's the other side now. Image texture. Open. Where the heck did it put it? Oh, joy of joys. Not that one. we can get the file structure of my computer. Oh, good. Yeah, you can see it's pretty plain. Not the donut-based texture. At all? Where the heck did I put it? Video, come back.
Drop down here, and then from this little drop down here that you can't even see
This one. Okay. UV test grid. And then we'll need to go to a view where we can actually see it. Okay. On the one hand, this is clearly bad. On the other hand, at least, you know, it works and we can see it. And this one works well. This one doesn't. I think that has to do with neighbors. I don't know why this one's messed up. That's a little weird to me. I have to adjust where some stuff lands, because this shouldn't be... Okay, this warping makes me confident of where it is on the UV test picture, at least. Nice if I could still see the layout underneath this. That's not ideal. Okay, so I guess have that go live. That seems like it'd take a fair bit of processing power. At least, you know, more than might be worth squandering right now while we're also streaming and everything else. The mark seams. It seems from islands, which is interesting approach to it. I'm gonna click minimize stretch and see what happens. Yeah, okay, so that was my fear, is I saw a bunch of squares and I was like, are those the rectangle edges? It would seem the answer is yes. Cool. I'm not sure how to stop the spread on that. Frankly, it's not horrendous on the actual spikes, if only because they're so small it's not super noticeable. These edge pieces obviously are real wonky. And nice if I could get the model view in here. I know there's a way to do it. Oh, cool. I mean, clearly the UV grid is on here somewhere. I need to, like, hide this? Nope. Test grid. No? I just want to see the UVs. The way to not have either of these enabled. Or am I just stuck between these two options, both of which are not remotely correct? I hope that other one isn't correct. That'd be extraordinarily stretched if it was. Joys of Blender. Well, you know what to do when that happens. We go back to the video.
Click that, and then you should see one called Untitled. And now that we've done that, if
Okay.
ours is like it's at an angle, and I also need to make a you as well. And we'll go back to solid view. Okay, so we have a mirror modifier.
Oh, is it just because I've deselected the model itself? Okay. That was it. Everything selected. This is not an efficient way to do this. Really need to get the wireframe back. Give me a second. Where's my option? View. Oh, okay, give me a second. We can go back to the modeling view and I can do this. Okay, here we go. Here's our wireframe. Can I manually change any of this? I think that's probably unlikely. Well, then again, Okay, so I can literally just be like, hey, put it here. But that is going to create a discontinuity, but that's fine, truthfully. I think this is our really weird warpy edge. These other three along the bottom should be fine. Three, yes. These along the top are also obviously all warped. And then these rectangle ones, I don't know why they're coming in as squares. That's not their size at all. So, like, that's not gonna be right. That seems unlikely to be a good idea. Alright, select this and then maybe grab all of that up. Nope. Got a lot of good that did. I feel like this is not achieving what I want it to achieve. No. I just relaxed that one though. This one, which drag it. Okay, I just have to move slower. Okay, well, I don't really want to achieve either of those things. I guess step one, really, is figure out which thing to fix first. I think this is a decent place to start, but also these. We're going to deal with these with more seams. Actually, hold on. Maybe the solution... Okay, so this is the bottom piece, and perhaps with additional seams, I can get it to not be quite so adhered, and that would resolve some things. In addition, I really don't know why these are crushed like this. I need to figure out which axis they're on, if this is the vertical or this is the vertical, and go from there. And then these ones I think we can also fix with more seams. So, I'm going to go to the modeling view again. We'll just keep on plugging away. It's going to look like one of them old Minecraft skins back when you had to manually import those. Makes me feel old. I did try my hand at a custom Minecraft texture pack back before they were resource packs. Didn't get all that far into it, but they're fun. Resource packs are easier to use and make. Like, they're just a much better way to handle it. But, you know, indie dev studio, what you gonna do? Okay, edge grab. This is clearing this edge. Well, not control. This and this. Specifically making those a seam should help clear up one part of our UV map already. You'd think I'd learn. Okay. Oh, right, I need to actually... do unwrap. Now let's see it. Okay, that's a new one. Oh, which piece is which though? That's interesting. Okay. This square is the one that goes along all of... Okay, this layout makes more sense now that I know that these aren't continuous, and it's more like laying out fabric on a... like fabric patterns on a sheet of fabric, where the way they land on that may not be equivalent to the way they actually connect in the final. Like, you might have the front and the back of a shirt, like, right next to and parallel to each other at, like, the wrong orientation, because that's how you need to cut it for the pattern to line up right. Actually, I suppose that's that's basically exactly what we're doing, isn't it? Cool, I was just doing that last week to make a new shirt. So let's keep it up. This one I can tell from the vertices is the one that's actually, like, this square is the top that's connected to all the spikes. As you can see where each of those subdivision dots all the way across. Let's see, fittingly, I think it actually is connected to these pieces, so this is the... Okay, no, this is the top edge, because it's connected to the vertices as well. This one's the bottom edge, so it's not. I don't know why these three are connected to this one, and why those four are together. I don't know if this is like the bottom piece. I'm trying to figure out how that all lines up. I don't know why that's highlighted in white, but I'm going to assume it's not a good thing. Okay, so but the point is, we now have 6 squares when we want 2 squares and 4 rectangles. But formerly we had 1 square, 4 rectangles, and then some horrible, like, quadrilateral. So it's a step in the right direction. Baby step in the right direction. But, you know, that's the way it be. Okay, next up is figuring out, okay, sorry about that. Let's just rotate all the way vertical and then get back out of here. Because adding the seams here is going to be an adventure. Because I want to do it on the back. I don't really want to add the seams on the front. Just for visibility's sake. I think this is small enough it won't look weird either way. But it might. So why risk it? And I gotta say, control selecting so far seems to work pretty well. Let's mark seam. I guess you can mark that sharp so that if you were like applying bevels and such, then those ones wouldn't bevel. I'm guessing that's what that does. You may have to look at that in the future. But we want to mark a seam. Oops. Okay, still have to be clever with it. But interesting pathfinding. I wonder if there's just a mark seam hotkey. There's always a hotkey. You just need to know where to look. And if there isn't one, usually you can make one. Just that sometimes that's not actually a good idea. Okay. That seam. Whoa. Alright, I thought my movement speed was relative to the model. It was not. Okay, we got a slight height error here that is not big enough for me to be concerned about in any way, shape, or form. Mark seam. That's gonna be interesting. Oh, okay, nope, it works. B, mark seam. We may want a vertical one down the middle too. Actually, no, that should be fine the way it is. Nope, I just want to select. Make sure I select both of these. 1 and 2. Okay, UV. Mark seam. I may have only gone one of them, but I think it's okay. Anyway, we're only going to do one side and edge, and then we're going to test again. Because we don't want to end up doing a bunch of rework if we did this the wrong way. UV, mark seam. I don't know why, but saying test again reminded me of, I don't know if any of y'all have watched Fairy Tale. I've just been watching it. I'm real behind on the shows in general. Although, I'll be honest, it's not super my genre. I find it's fun when when the scale of the quests isn't like world-shattering, but the intensity always gets so wild in shonen. And it's starting to reach the point where I'm like, okay, this is not as enjoyable. But I don't even remember what it was I said, but something I said reminded me of Mystigan, who is an interesting character. Mark seam. Mark seam. We may have to do the outer corner, but I'm going to try it without that first. Okay, then we're going to select the whole dealy bob. You're going to unwrap a Christmas gift, or birthday gift, or a Halloween gift, or I don't know, everyone gives gifts at different times. Whenever you happen to gift one of them things, you know what, with the wrapping paper. Now let's see what this has done. Some weirdness. Okay, I'm gonna have to unwrap it from that edge too. Man, I kind of wanted it to be continuous, but I just don't think it's gonna play nice if it is. Interesting. Fascinating. Unless, are these the ones I unwrapped? In which case they're working great. But that should free up one of the 4 edges here, and it is not. So what that means is that this is the inner side, which I unwrapped and it works fine. And then most likely this one that's less mangled is the outer side, which I didn't unwrap and it works not fine. So we're just going to keep on going. I don't mind if the textures on this end up a little scuffed. A, it's a first go, and B, my texture goals for it are weird anyway, so like it's gonna be scuffed. Now let's see if I can fix this with a very simple unwrap as opposed to something complicated. And move all the way over here. Doopa-doobop. Zeepa-dobop. And UV mark seam. I suspect I'm gonna have to go up and down the edges on this one, truthfully. Or I guess along the corners, that it can like that might be better. Actually, hold on, yeah. Let me undo a thing. We're about to test that unmarked seam option. Clear seam. Woo! New plan. This is going to be horrendously tedious if it's the right fix, but it might be a better approach. So we got to at least try it, and then we can figure out a more efficient way to do it. I suspect dragging across and selecting is going to do more good. Oh, jeepers, not like that, though. Did I get all of them? Okay, almost all of them, but a little bit of cleanup is still better than everything else. Okay, Spampton. Spampton G, Spampton. Like that. Add this, add this, add this. Those ones are all good. Then it's gonna be the backside on all of these. Okay. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wonder if that would have happened. Okay, so this is orthographic mode means that we've got perspective on. Isometric would mean no perspective. I wonder if we would have gotten like lines directly above and below each other if we were in ISO, or not. Something to test. But not when I'm already this far into the selections. But on the next selection set, we're going to ISO this. And then we're just going to zip down and see if it gets both or if it only gets the top ones. Because if it only gets the top ones, it's worse. If it gets both, it's considerably better. I love isometric view stuff. It's just fun to mess with. And as an art style, you know, it doesn't help you with relative proportions, but it does help you with UV mark seam. It definitely does help you with actually keeping things literally to the same scale, which is another skill that needs practice, at least when you're me. Let's unwrap this and give it another go. Non-scaled version of the mesh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. A. No, object mode. A. Apply scale. Okay. The heck? Okay. Go back into edit mode. Let's try this again and see if that fixed it or not. Unwrap. Okay, well that might have been part of our rectangle face problem. Hey, that solved that. Okay, we're making headway. This stream so far, we're just coming in and solving problems. Unlike last stream where I made a cool tower, but also a lot of problems. Okay. Yeah, that helps those a great deal. Those two are good. This edge is looking good along the bottom. With lovely little bevel. This section, however, I am just going to have to cut the bottom too, aren't I? I feel like there should be seams on that. I'm not sure why they're not. Oh! Wait, hold your horses. There are seams on this one. This is the one we edited. They just unwrap a little weird still. But maybe not horrendously weird if we did all of them? It's funny, I guess the angles, the actual physical like tapers that are on this because of the way we subdivided it, result in these looking really uniform here and it actually looking like it's in perspective despite being super 2D mapped on this. Which is, I guess, also true of this. It's technically two-dimensional as well. Man, that's fascinating to see how this works. You know, UV mapping is fascinating. I'm gonna have to mess with this a lot more. Curved surfaces are gonna make it an interesting adventure, to be sure. But this is kind of my jam. Like, how do we turn, like, it's like making an origami pattern or a sewing pattern, like we were saying earlier. And all sorts of shifting from 2 to 3D and back and forth is stuff that I find very interesting. Often tough, don't get me wrong. Just because I find something neat doesn't mean I'm good at it. Otherwise, I would not be an art streamer. Trust me on that. Okay, we're going to deselect all them lines. We're going to attempt the same thing, but we are going into isometric view. Woo! Straight up and down. Straight across so that the selector will work. Just zoop these in here, and let's see. Okay, this is not a result I expected. I'm gonna be real. It still acted as though there was perspective on it. I guess the camera angle, either it's not actually ISO and it's just projecting it into ISO, or my camera angle was still somehow slightly off in a way that affected this. I'll be honest, confused by this outcome. Not really complaining, it just leaves us with like exactly the same as before. It's slightly easier to drag across, so like it's not a big deal. Just a little weird. Like, oh, did not anticipate that being the case. Gotta get these ones over here too. Can't forget the far sides. The cow tools. That is a weird reference, and I don't know if people are going to get it or not. I have no idea if that's like a common reference or not. Apparently, the Far Side had a comic strip. Well, okay, yes, the Far Side was a comic strip. I think a lot of people may be aware of that. But it had a comic, like one specific strip that was just called Cow Tools, and it was just a bunch of weird tools, but also some normal tools and a cow, and it's esoteric and makes no sense. But the internet loves that same kind of thing. So, yeah, the internet went nutso for it, and now there's like a bunch of cow tools stuff. Okay, and I do still have to seam this edge, or else this doesn't work. I'll admit this phase is probably going to get a little tedious. So we'll just sort of knuckle down and get into it. There is a lot to be said for tedious, repetitive work, in that it is weirdly soothing if you're into that sort of thing, which I super am. Okay, first off, deselect the ones that are already seams. Control select to get up here, save us a few clicks each way down and up. I guess this is already a seam, so it doesn't have to do more seam, but like we can still zip across it and it doesn't seem to break anything, so I'm okay with that. Move our way over here, keep on going. 1, 2, 3, oop, nope, can't do that one. Okay. 4, what? Oh, I guess this one was still connected. A bad one to count on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As opposed to 2, 4, 7, 9, 11. Okay, yeah, that is actually more of a time save than I was thinking it was. Neato. That's always a nice find. We optimized more than we initially realized. Yeah, I don't think we need to cut along the front or even along this back one, because they should unfold flat based on the other seams we have cut. Let's go ahead and mark this one as a seam. There we go. That should be another side seamed up and ready. So y'all know what to do. We're going to test it again. I'm still in isometric view, aren't I? It becomes really obvious when you see something like this and you're like, this looks wrong. Because we see the world in orthographic view, i.e. with perspective. Stuff seems smaller when it's further away. Of course, the world actually exists in isometric, but that's not how we see it. So it's really weird. Because what isometric does is it basically preserves proportions. And what that means is if you have two things of the same size, and one is next to you and one is a mile away, in isometric view, they will look the same size, same exact height and everything. Great for old school games because it meant they could make one sprite and it's going to be stinking 6 pixels tall wherever you're at. And great for some other effects and stuff. It can be a little off-putting and otherworldly and also very precise and flat if you want it to be. But it also, when you see something like this in isometric view, your brain just goes kind of ew. Like the. I really like ISO. It very much has its place in the world and in my heart. I like ISO view. Okay. UV editing. Are we getting better? This one almost looks like a rectangle. That's a plus. And this one similarly almost looks like a rectangle. I'm hoping when we finish the edge corners, I think this corner one is the one that's dragging it down. And oh boy, I would not want to have to figure out exactly which of these maps to which. Oh no. That pattern's going to be a broken mess there unless we merge some faces. But I also, again, I don't think that's going to be a big deal for the end project, which I haven't revealed yet, but which we will do. Sorry, gotta consume food. Tragically, I am a human being and need nutrients to survive. Also, happily, I'm a human being, so I can actually think and do this sort of stuff. Credit where it's due to dolphins, but they haven't quite mastered the dexterity to use Blender yet. Although I'm sure they could figure out a way. They put their minds to it. Or rather, if they put their minds to that and not being really creepy. Cute, but creepy. Cute in appearance, creepy in behavior. True of a lot of things. Like most beauty pageants. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure some of those are lovely. Just not really my cup of tea. I don't know much about them. Okay. Edge grab mode. Let's go. Oh, I'm at the wrong angle. Slightly. Gonna force me to really learn how to track that well, isn't it? That feels like it's off over there. Like the model feels like it's off. And it is! Ha-ha! Hold on, face view. We're doing a little bit of fixer-uppering. How'd I go and do that? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to need to fix normals or not, because my worry is that when I do this, when I do that, and I just raise this one up, is that there's two meshes facing each other in this gap here. And I don't want that. I don't want any meshes in there. So my hope is that Blender has figured out, like, these meshes are occupying the same space. I should toss them, or at least toss one of them, so I don't have clipping mess. But I don't know that Blender actually does. No, it doesn't seem to do that. Yeah, I mean, you can literally see it. Okay, so we'll have to deal with that. That's a different problem that may not become a big enough problem that we have to deal with it. And we're going to try to pick our fights. This Blender is big and full of, yeah, sometimes. At the very least, new things that I'm trying to learn. Okay, grab this top one too, and then let's figure out what we missed. We're in perspective view, i.e. ortho. All good over there, and I don't see anything that shouldn't be selected over there. Let's catch these missed seams. And then we're going to do the other side. Because if there's missed seams on one side, or if there's not missed seams on one side, there will be on the other with the way this works. Okay. And let's mark as seam. Woo! Now we're doing a repeat of the other side. You know, it's probably slower swapping between the two. Like, I should have just done the tops of all four and then the backs of all four, because you can get better muscle rhythm that way. But there's not enough repeating for that to really make sense as a means of optimizing, and more importantly, this particular step is actually rather tedious, and having something else to do between it helps break up the monotony a little bit. Let's just keep on going like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Nope. Last, too ambitious. Just gonna have to manually fix all of that one. I totally messed that one up. Okay, zip this over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1. What the heck? Oh yeah, see, I think that's probably a result of the weird. Okay, we'll see if this unwraps well or not. This might be what's causing that weird corner issue, actually. Mark seam. On that one UV that we've been trying to unwrap. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this last one. We'll just get through it. And yeah, we will go from there. Let's see. Okay. Maybe a very slight tilt this way would allow me to access more of them. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to make sure I catch these 3 on all 4 sides, because I have a sneaking suspicion I missed them on a few. Okay, but looking at this side first, let's make sure we get all of these. I gotta say, I love Blender's figuring out exactly where I want my cursor to be, even if I'm not quite nailing it directly on the line. But it's been doing a really, really fine job of that. As long as I'm in the right area of that edge, it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. Boom, boom. As long as any part of my cursor's touching it, not just the center pixel, it seems to know what's going on. It's nice. Okay, I'm gonna do that last corner check, make sure we got all those. Huh, looks like we did. Good job. I guess me. Self-congratulatory there much. Okay, we've got that. UV. Unwrap. Moment of truth. Okay, we got a little bit of mingling, but that's an awful lot better than where it was, isn't it? Why don't we see what this actually ends up looking like? Got our texture on it. Got a slight tilt to these, but nothing bad. Obvious. Oh, okay, this one's something bad. These are gonna just have whatever on them, but actually, they seem to still be contiguous because we didn't seam up those sides. That's good. Backs are gonna do what they're gonna do. So be it. Those little edges seem, again, a tiny bit off, but not enough off to really worry me for what we're doing. And the tower and everything, okay, a lot of that's looking really pretty good. Let's see if we can't figure out, I wonder if there's a way to select a face in this and be able to see that it's the selected face in the UV viewer, because this one, the far side's a little awkward, but this side's clearly got something going on. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. What we select is the only stuff that's in here. I can see that it's this one, and these, something about these is causing it to pull up, which makes me think I select everything and find that one again. UV editing. There must be some weird geometry connecting those that I didn't disconnect that I should have. Because it's not happening on this one. Happening on this one only a little bit in one corner. I wonder why this one is looking so different from the other 3. Did I unwrap it wrong? or does it just have like a different internal piece that I'm not seeing the same? Hmm. Okay. Oh, nope. That's the opposite of what we want to do, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so these have, for whatever reason, these have some... Oh! Okay, hold on. Yeah, I thought it might be these connectors between them that was the issue. Oh, ooh, hold on. Maybe we didn't get the ones actually under the pyramids on one of these sides. Let's check. Looking and making sure all of these highlighted seams look right. Okay, hold on. Let's figure out which side was... Okay, it's this side. Take a look, see what... Yep, okay, here we go. See, that one. These ones where it actually connects to it. Get those going. Not all of them, but it's enough of them. I'm not sure how I missed that, but I just must have done it. Oh, I was probably looking from the outside, and these were hidden as interior. Okay, now let's look at UV editing. And assuming I select the whole model. Hoping that'd be a shortcut. Oh well. What I get for trying to do it, shortcut things. That's right, it's what I get for trying to do it, shortcut things. So I guess, do I need to unwrap it first? Unwrap. Yeah, okay, so I needed to do that to update it. Okay, that, again, not perfect, but that did clear up a lot of the finagling. Can we take a quick look at the other one that was just a little bit off? We can't determine what was going on with that. Let's do that in just a second. Modeling view, here we go. Is this the other warpy one? Or was this the original and it's just mostly fixed? Okay, yeah, they've all got a little warpy to them. Except for this one, which has no warpy but is at an angle. I don't know what to do about that. Uh, Angle actually might be worse than the warpy for the pattern. Let me see if I can even find the texture. I may not have ever added it as a texture, but the Blender Guru fellow also has a texture site that you can get. There's plenty of paid ones, and if you want to go that route, you can. But there are also some free ones. If we're just resting around learning stuff, free ones are pretty good. Actually, they're really nice. But I would need to add a new material to this. Not render result. Yay. Error. Error. Texture not found. Okay. Open image. Interesting that it's not in there. Guess I could take a render from a donut tutorial and see. Yeah, okay, so this is meant to apply to a donut. That's actually really terrible looking. Let's find something that isn't that. Ay. We could map our lava lamp drawing onto it. I'm sure that wouldn't go badly. Okay. Can't imagine what that's gonna look like over here. I'm sure we could import it, but that's kind of a... Oh, okay, we can swap easy. Yep. Yep. Wonder if there's a... Ah, okay, I see. I can select a point and move it, so I can make this wrap around the walls instead. Now if we go back to modeling view, now it's here. Oh good, I have a stray mark on there. What a fun thing to discover this late in the game. Well. Okay, let's look for it. It is useful to know that it's actually super easy to import a texture, so if we want to make anything, that's an option. And given all the digital art streams we do, I think some texture making wouldn't be out of the question. Including possibly some of the various symbols on the arch itself. It is killing me that I cannot remember the name. Oh, one of them's a lion. There's lions on the gate. One of them is bulls, but then this other one, this dude, is a fictional creature, or at least part of their belief system. And it is killing me because it had the coolest name ever. And it's the kind of thing I would memorize I was the kind of kid who would memorize pi to like 20 digits for fun. 3.141592653589793238466. Ooh, I missed at least one 8 in there, because I always do. And it's 4626, not 4662. But the point was, I also thought this was cool because I'm a nerd. And I remembered the name of it, and it's killing me that I don't remember it now. Oh, they're neat dudes. Not super relevant, but maybe we should draw some of them, and then I'll have to remember it, because I'll name the file that. And if I don't remember that that's what it is, then I'll never find the file again. It'll be my punishment for not remembering them. Oh, man, I'm mad. It's not a Lamassu. That's not Babylonian. That's different. Lamassu are cool though. Sort of like guardian demigod bulls with human heads and wings. And they had better not be the origin of Buffalo Wild Wings, or else a lot of people are going to be very angry. Okay. We were looking for the actual texture that I downloaded ages ago. I'm going to have to dig in my file system for a second for this. Let's maybe not do that on stream. Nothing bad in there, but it's just thinking boring and also blinding people with a white light. We will dig in here. And, yeah, let's see what we find. Doopadood. Mint? Oh, that's the issue. I'm dumb and I never unzipped it. Extract all. Yes. I guess we get to do some of this on stream anyway. Lovely. Dump it here, please. Correct. Okay. Hold on. Need to actually put those in the folder with the name of it. I nested it slightly not deep enough. What's that? Crackle 002. Let's just pop all of these in there, including the original zip, just in case we ever need it again, even though we definitely won't. And let's go find that. I mean, I knew I made this textures folder for a reason. Why is... Nope, that's not the right textures folder. I hope. Documents, Blender, textures. There we go. Now, I'm not messing with the bump map or anything. I just want the color 4K. Oh, good. It's mapped at the wrong angle and far too big. The little warpy actually kind of works for it, though. I mean, if you look at the actual reference, these bricks have seen a lot. Okay. Gonna have some fun with the UV editing on this one, I'm sure. How about tile ceramic subway crack 2? Oh, jeepers. So I don't see a way to edit the image. This would be nice if I could just pop the image size down. Oh, image resize. Oh, I'm not sure this is what we want to do. Let's see. And then I guess I should actually have, selected the model that we're meshing. We're not meshing it, we're texturizing it. Next up, we'll condition it. I make sure. I don't think we need to do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. Well, proportionally, it's still... Okay, so I definitely didn't want to resize the image. All I did was lose quality, but you know... Live and learn. If I rotate, is this going to rotate as a whole, or is every single line going to rotate independently and totally wreck things? We're about to find out. Hey, hey! I was hoping that shift would snap to an axis, but instead it just gives slow control, which is useful, but not quite as useful. And I guess I should move off of the rotate tool now. Put all these back on the texture, shall we? Image, resize. This is so not... You should not make an image smaller and then larger again. That's so bad. I'm sure that we're losing quality for doing this nonsense. Oh, I guess I didn't need to resize that. I need to scale. Oh, all axes, please. Oh. Okay, wait, hold on. I think I saw an image repeat option somewhere in here. Where was I seeing that? UV select mode. It's like, oh, okay, that's neat. And then island. Okay. Nope. No, I just want to close this entire window if you don't mind, dude. I've forgotten how to do that. It's just kind of there. Well, oh, okay. Sure. um, I guess that's just showing the texture itself. I'm not entirely sure I fully understand the purpose of this side. I mean, I know it's you can use it for editing the images. Okay, I guess it is just the image editor then. Then do I have different controls here? Um, no. Sure there's a way to tile this. The joy when you definitely know something exists because you ran across it by accident, but now that you need it, it is nowhere to be found. Well, you know what? Let's at least let's see what the model looks like with this. The mega bricks. We'd have like a chibi Ishtar Gate if we did it like this. That'd be ridiculous. Well, shall we do a render? Oh, jeepers. It does show me that this pattern actually has more texture than I realized to it, though. That's actually... I know it's supposed to be subway tile, but it actually works really well for these old fired, like, clay bricks. So, like, hey. Might as well use it. And we can overlay the other critters and borders and such on top if we want. That is definitely going to be a challenge for another day and another stream. I could check a movie on this? It's actually amazing. I don't know what file type it would look for, and I'm pretty sure the only GIF I have on here, that like I don't know that I have any movie like MP4 stuff, and the only GIF I have is Caramel Dancing for a different project, which is not really what I want to throw on here right now. But this has been a major step. Oh, jeepers! It's 9:15 already. I gotta say, time flies when 3D modeling. Like this is just a joy. Really like this. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause and do a little bit of looking up on how to make that happen. But I will come back. We'll see if we can't get the texture to tile, and we will go from there. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is a blast. Okay. I was sorry. I was lost in thought thinking that this is one of those moments where I really wish the stream pause menu had like a view of what was behind it still. I ought to work on a alternate pause screen that like shows what's happening. That way I don't just leave y'all with the plain flat screen for a little while. But that's what we're gonna have to do in the meantime. New screen will be another day. That said, see y'all in about 5-ish minutes, probably. I don't know if I'm ever even close to that. I assume I'm usually either under or over phenomenally, but never right on. Either way, see you in some amount of time in the future. Howdys and salutations. That was, I think, actually 5 minutes for once. Who'da thunk? But more importantly, I was A, able to just about finish dinner, so I won't hopefully have to pause quite as much to eat. But B, I found a little solution to our problem. Using the best debugging method in the world, looking it up on random forum posts, and finding a post from 14 years ago that was only correctly answered 30 days ago. So there's always hope. Seriously, I'm throwing this in chat. This is stinking wild ride. Like the okay, it's not that wild of a ride, but that's why it's worth reading a little further down in those forum posts. Because whew. Now, let's actually select our whole model and have a go at this. Now, pardon me, select everything. We shall make it not warped that way, but just considerably larger so that the bricks are smaller. You can even look at our reference. It's probably like, what, 15, 20 bricks across? I don't know if I want to stick to that exactly, but it's something to work off of. And just go ahead and save, and let's do ourselves, you know what? Let's spoil ourselves. We're just going to render it. Hey, hey! Now that's what I'm talking about. And that does also help hide not only some of the wonkiness, like the edges on this are probably a little too sharp. I should bevel those. But it does help hide the slight angle at the bottom of this. And some of the brick wonkiness just looks like actual brick wompiness. None of those were the words I wanted to say. Brick wompiness? No. Brick wonkiness. There were never any M's. What? Brain. Work with me here, man. Okay. But yeah, no, that's not bad at all. Hey. There's a fly on my monitor. Y'all can't see that on stream, but for a second I thought you could, and I was about to say, let me get this fly out of the way. I guess, congrats, I did it. Fly is removed. Oh. Uh-oh. Am I gonna crash Blender by clicking that? Uh-oh. Too many subdivisions to surface. Oh, no. Oh, dearie me. Um, so this clearly... Oh, cool. Clicking it a second time actually froze Blender. Nope, it got it. It got it. Interesting. Okay, note to self. This is a horrifying creation. It looks like a column designed to just lock itself into something. That would actually be a really cool, like, monster that's a self-building Greek temple for D&D. It's just like the pieces connect like this, and if you try to disconnect anything, they bite you, or like they chase you to build the temple around and eat you. I don't know. Lore would have to get worked out, but like, and motives and activity. But it feels like that would be a thing. Wow, whatever calculations are happening on this are weird, because that's not even centered, so I don't know what conclusion the equation reached. And this one just results in like a slight weird taper. This is a mess of a thing. Okay, subdivision, subsurface, we are... Subsurface modifier, we are tossing you out the window temporarily. Please wait for us to come up with a better solution than that. That's not it. That is not the fix. Maybe that's what this is. This is a silly thing to spend time on, but I'm going to try it. Just on one side. Actually, it's really easy, so maybe we just, I just need to select like that. Let's also mark that as sharp. And let's see if that changes what happens. We subsurface modifier this, or subdivision surface modify this. I mean, besides potentially crashing Blender, I should stop doing this. Nope, that did not solve any of the underlying problems, in fact. Just bizarro. Pardon. And I assume moving this line is going to result in weird brokenness. Yeah, okay. Don't do that. Don't do this. There are other ways to manually bevel, and worst case scenario, we can just leave it as is. It's not that bad. I guess we could model the bevel itself right in instead of using the like surface modifiers. Or we could figure out, I'm not sure a way to apply a surface modifier to a part of a surface. I'd have to trying to think if that's even a thing, or if we'd want to have to add like another overlay surface, like make it a separate object and then bevel just that piece, which I don't want to do because I actually want to. I'm sure you could map it so they stay together, but I want to do an animation with this, which would mean it moving, um, which doesn't work so hot if it's a bunch of different pieces, unless I figure out how to get those together. So there's solutions, but there might be just maybe the bigger solution is just don't do that right now. Um, ooh, that's wild. Ooh. Okay. Wireframe, normal mesh, texture mapped onto it, but not rendering, just sort of chucked on there. And then active light rendering with Eevee. Not cycles, because cycles is great, but slower. That slight angle to it is just a little weird. That is something that I'm sure we can fix. In fact, I don't think it would even be that hard, so we could actually look into doing that. If I select the model. Ah, dag nab. There's got to be a better way to do that, because like that's getting to be a weird workflow. Although actually, hold on. Hold your horses. That's not a good British accent. I don't know why I even attempted that. I had like 8 out of 10 cats on the mind, I'll be honest. It's a fun show. Series of shows. Okay, now we can focus on this. The fact that this inexplicably does weirdness. Let's maybe force it to do slightly less of that. Bear with me, I know that looks weird, but when we move it back up, it'll be a little more level. We'll still get a little wonkiness at the top, but it should be better. They're all just a little bit off, and I'm not entirely sure why. Kind of funny to me. Anyway, do the same thing. Let's rotate this all to be roughly on the same plane. Thankfully, with this bricks texture, it's easy to figure out if something is level. Then we just pop it up. This one's going to be more of a pain. I kind of like the indent that this causes, so I'm kind of inclined to leave that, actually. But I do want to fix these two underlying ones. I don't want the brick themselves to be tilted like that. This ain't the towers, you know? The tilted tower. Okay, terrible Fortnite reference. I apologize. Someone who's never played Fortnite. I don't know enough about it to know if a reference is dumb or good. We're gonna keep the wonkiness still, but we're just gonna level it out a little bit, or at least bring it up to the same height as everything else. It's gonna give us some wonky over here, but that's okay. Go back to the model. That's actually different, worse wonky. This one's good. I like this one. Its wonk is interesting. This one's wonk is less good. Like ripples and fabric. Oh, and it really botched the. Ooh, it badly broke the top textures, didn't it? Okay. This is what I get for thinking that would be an easy thing to do. Okay, you thing. Where did we go wrong? Unlike all of these. The fact that this side pokes out, so that causes some weird crunch. Oh, that's gonna do bad things. Ready tell. Yeah, I can tell that was this one. Look at what it did to that. Okay. What? I thought it was beveled for a second, but it's just the way the lighting is rendering. Um, interesting. Not the tab we want, but interesting. Anyway, everything over here I should just undo massively. Okay. Start with just that one. There's still some wonkiness, really. Biggest wonk is this one just being weird and then messing with the top. So if I go to the model and I select this face, UV editing. Oh, it's this one. I would not have guessed that. Really? Okay. Oh, I guess in terms of just being at an angle, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You see if I can just slowly nudge this up. These all roughly the same line. There we go. Guess I need to make sure I'm not altering the width because that's what causes some of the folding issues. I'm guessing that's what causes some of the folding issues. Alright, we're gonna save. We're gonna see. That's just warped it to high heaven. Kinda has. In not a bad way. Obviously the stuff above it is warped real bad. But I'm beginning to think it may have been that way already. And if it wasn't, um, it's fixable. It's just they're positioned wonky. That's fine. Um, I mean, the fix here, because width-wise, I think it's actually correct. If you look along the bottom and if you look along the edges, that all looks good. And even like kind of works with the adjacent sides, which is good. And given that this is a seam, okay, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. The warpiness is coming from having gotten the width slightly wrong on where each of these segments lines up. And I could keep tweaking that to try to fix all of them, but that could take us, you know, like 30 minutes and be really boring. And this isn't even the right side. This one. This side. Well, we will have to fix those other ones at some point. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a today thing either. I think that this has been a very good evening of UV editing, actually. So let's, honestly, I'm thinking that we may wrap it here about 15-20 minutes early. I think that this has been a successful. We've achieved the task we set out to achieve. The name of the stream was oh, what was it? It was something about UV editing, and I think we have solved the problems we encountered last time and gotten an answer here. So next time, unless I'm still, fiddling around with the UV such, which I might be, because wrinkles like this weird me the heck out on bricks, and it looks this texture is good, and then having it like mapping it like the tiling effect also doesn't look terrible on it. Major props to, I guess, I don't remember what the group was called, but it was by the Blender Guru dude. Cool stuff. Um, and we learned how to unwrap a model, which was much more cathartic than I expected. It'd be horrible if I was on a deadline. I would go fast, make mistakes, have to go fix the mistakes. Model would look warpy. I would hate it. And it might be weird on curves, but curves, even on this, I think it'd be okay. Um, but yeah, this is fine. I feel like we could. Uh, this is one open question. In the UV editor, can I overlay multiple images, or if I have any image matching, do I need to do that on my own time, like separately, and then import the final texture here? Because if I have to do that, that's going to be a pain, and I'm going to have to figure out how to mark exactly like where each section lands on the texture so I can edit the right places. So, okay, image. Huh. Maybe that's how we'll wrap up. Let's Google this real quick. Blender UV editor, multiple textures. Okay. Texturing with multiple UV maps. That's a little different. I guess. Okay. Multiple textures. Um, Making textures with multiple UV maps to a. Okay. Okay. This, as always, forum post 6 years ago. It sounds similar to our problem. It's always stinking Stack Overflow or Stack Exchange, isn't it? Okay. Relatively new to Blender. Main point is we have a texture for the main object and some transparent decals to decorate it. Let's see. How to layer textures. Unwrapping. Oh, apparently there's an automated way to do that. Well, no, we still learning. Also, frankly, it was genuinely fun. The default color grid image texture as the image. Add a new UV map. Oh, okay. That seems awesome, actually. And fairly straightforward. Okay, not messing with. Actually, you know what? Let's mess with that tonight. That's a good. Yes. Because I know what we can put in here. Actually, I have a lot of junk we can put in here because I have a lot of art exported with transparent backgrounds to make thumbnails. Okay. This is an old guide. So, you know. Okay. So it's basically just having multiple UV maps on the object itself, so they're not even in the texture view, they're just probably in like this view model. That's our base color here. Subsurface color, that's not what we want. It is possible Blender has significantly updated some of this stuff since then. This menu doesn't correlate very well at all. That's a nice preview. Proper rendered and all that jazz. I would love to mess with some of those other ones sometime. That could be fun. Linear. Hey. Pardon me. Okay, let's see. Unwrap the cube. Add the default color grid image texture as the image. Okay, yes. New UV map. Okay, properties editor. Data tab. Data tab. I don't think any of these is it, but worth checking. Sometimes stuff has weird names. Object data. Oh, okay, maybe. UV maps. Um, dot text cal, not text test. Okay. If I go to UV editing, is there a way for me to, or I guess let's go back to the model. Check. Oh, where the heck were we? No, seriously, where were we? If I. Oh, yep, here we go. Material, base color, all that jazz on it. So it seems like there ought to be another texture slot in here somewhere, potentially, or another material slot. I don't think that was the correct button. This might be something I dig into more in the future. I apologize, but I am apparently fading a little faster than I thought, and I still got a little voter research to do, because that's right. Better for the worse, elections are coming up in the States, so definitely recommend voting if you can. Worth doing. And, yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here for the night. I'll get this one posted, and next time we will, A, see if we can't duplicate this thing with the proper textures, B, go ahead and model out the center of the arch, and then if we have time, we can start rigging it. Granted, I think modeling the actual arch in the middle may eat up all of the time next stream. We'll see. But I'm eager. I'm excited to see what we can do. Truth be told, I did a similar assignment, project type deal, way back when in college, and I'm hoping that I can one-up that. That was part of a course, though, so I was like way more inundated in the software and everything. So we'll see. This is basically, seeing if we can recreate that, then we're doing pretty dang good. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing going forward. This is still going to be Blender month. December, I think December is going to be sticker design month. Honestly. But then after that, we'll see. We shall see. But until we see, I think that I need to head out. So, in lieu of having an actual outro, because I never have done that, and I really ought to at some point, I'm just going to bid y'all a good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, whatever time of day. If you're on a time-locked island, then good time to you. And I will see y'all at the next one.